Bonjour and bonsoir, dear friends. Bienvenue on JCB Live. At the end of June, we saved an incredible artist. Dear friends, you're going to be seduced. You're going to be charmed. You've already heard about him because he's a legend. All American presidents have his art, including, of course, Barack Obama. He uses art as activism. And I love this. He expresses humanity, which is absolutely brilliant. He's extremely, extremely talented. He speaks French as well. We just had a fabulous discussion in French. He's been invited by all the museums. He's been really the darlings of our time. And I'm very pleased that he's with us because his background is amazing. And it's going to show you all that everything is possible in life. One of the expressions that he says, I love, people can see themselves in my art. And no matter what you are, who you are. And this is very cool. And he says, by the time I leave this earth, I want to see people moving closer together. He is an amazing man inside out. He has incredible energy and the power of magnetism. I feel it. I'm shivering of excitement. We will have a fun discussion today. I'm very pleased, dear friends, to bring Chaz, part of our JCB Live. Chaz, whoop, whoop, it's coming. Yes.
Bonjour, Jean-Charles.
Bonjour, Chaz.
Wow.
Hey, I love how you move your tongue when you open that bottle of wine.
Voila.
And you're going to get all the guests already excited.
Cheers. Cheerio. Yes.
Hey, we got to taste it at the same time. I love it. Hey, are you left-handed or are you right-handed?
Well, I'm holding this beautiful champagne with my right hand, but I am right-handed, so I'm using this to drink. I practice on being, what is the word?
Ambidextrous.
Yeah. So I paint that way too, Jean-Charles.
That's what I was thinking, because as I look at your art and I've discovered your art, it seems that there's someone who paints from both sides of the body and both sides of the brain.
Yeah, because there's nothing occupying the other part. I'm terrible at math. So there's real estate over here, so that I just use it for art as well. But I like to see what the left hand is doing, because it's more childlike, because I'm not in full control of it. So I'm kind of fascinated by the way children go about expressing themselves when they have a writing implement or paints in their hands, because it's pure.
Very true. And some of the most amazing painters and sculptors were fully ambidextrous. They used to tie their hands on the back to learn from both sides.
That's right. Yes, that's like, that's in martial arts too, in fighting. You have to have both sides strong.
Well, it seems that you are an amazing athlete as well. Is that
was. I could barely move now, but no, I enjoyed being a martial artist in Kyokushin karate when I was 10, and then I moved into gymnastics for my young life and retired from that in '85, and then I started in a serious Kyokushin karate again, I think in 1990.
Wow.
And on up to I think 10 years ago, I retired from fighting.
But you still wear the kimono, as I see.
Yeah, I love this. I started out with, the karate uniform early on in my life. And but the kimono is just, I love tradition and I love culture. And I love, I love tradition. And this is certainly one of the most comfortable garments I've ever worn, besides the African bubu, I think they call it.
I love the bubu.
Yeah, I was wearing that a lot in Ghana and in the Gambia, West Africa. So I got used to that too.
Hey, when you come to Napa, and
Yeah.
we exhibit some of your amazing pieces, we both will wear the boo-boo or the
Oh,
African robe.
oh, that would be nice. I have one for you. If you don't have one, they certainly
Well,
gave me a
and
lot
I
of
may
them.
surprise you. I have a
Yeah,
few as well.
you may, you may. Hey, I'm gonna have
Well,
another sip of this, man. This is beautiful.
oh, thank you. What do you think of the wine?
Well, this champagne is like really on point. You know, I mean, this is really on point. Number 21.
Exactly. You barely have the age, but I guess you turned 21 a few years ago, so you're fine.
Stereo to that.
Hey, to that. So, Chaz, you have an incredible background. I'd love for everyone, and we could go back obviously to martial art. This is one of my passion as well.
Oh,
To go back to where you born, how you started, and then eventually give us a sense of how you discovered your amazing talent.
well, okay, amazing.
It's a big question, huh?
No, but thank you for that compliment. But so you know, as a child, I always colored, uh, uh, and I also had a very severe speech impediment, so that kept me quiet a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was shy. I just didn't want to put anyone to the torture of having to listen to me squeeze words out.
Huh.
So you know, it wasn't by design. It was just that there were a lot of Crayola crayons around,
Mm-hmm.
and my sisters in fact, my sister Suzanne, she would actually tell me to make the outside line first and then color. It's amazing I still remember that. But I used to color a lot, and that I actually had a blister, like in fact, you know, it's still a little lump right there.
I
But I
can
used
see
to
it.
color all of the day when I was a little boy.
Huh.
And you know, it was just something that I did. A lot of children are this way. A lot of children love art. A lot, you know, and I never thought that I would be a painter. So how it was discovered was much later on, Jean-Charles.
Yeah.
Much later on. In fact, I used to kind of like take advantage of my ability without having a respect for it. So I would be hanging out with my buddies, and they want to go to the movies or out for burgers or something like that. So just give me a few minutes, and I would like do Charlie Brown and Fred Flintstone cartoons on line paper and sell it for like 50 cents. You know,
What?
and I had like a pocket full of money, but I was very young. I was like 13, man, and I was like loaded, you know. I always
Wow.
had my, and then people would recognize that, and I would be in a synagogue painting Jewish people, drawing Jewish for like $7. And, you know, I always did things to make money with my hands, making clothes, which brought me into fashion. I just picked up and just started sewing because as a gymnast, you see, I didn't like going outside.
Uh-huh.
And so I would be inside, and I found my mother's sewing machine in the corner one day when my hands were ripped to shreds, you know, from gymnastics. And just being in the house bored, and I opened the sewing machine and taught myself how to thread it. And I ran to the fabric store and bought this horrible fabric and a pattern. And I made a pair of pants. And I wore them to school. And everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people wanted a pair. And I started making them $30 a piece, man. I was
What?
15. I was
For
15.
both legs? For both legs?
It's a bootleg. And you talk about, you know, $30. And back in that day, man, I had you know, I didn't know what to spend money on. It was to having fun, you know, and cool sweaters and stuff, you know.
That's very impressive. So very early on, you discovered basically that one, your hands, as you did martial arts, were very useful as well as your legs. But basically, your hands with art was amazing, from drawings to painting to sketches to fashion design. So,
Yeah, and this is what I find somewhat of a tragedy in the public school system, that they don't have that any longer. I know that things change, but when you can do things that you want to do,
Yeah.
and you're doing that through your hands, that is phenomenally profound. And it was taken away from from a lot of kids, children, and I just think that, thank goodness, I recognized that I can have a lot of fun by things coming out of my hand. So Jean-Charles, everything you see,
Absolutely.
and if you know on my bio, all my traveling, the kings I've painted, the presidents the prime ministers in Japan, all come, my son graduated from college, my love of high fashion clothes, my expensive girlfriends through my life have always come from painting.
I love it.
How magnificent.
Before
Cheerio to that.
I have a lot of comments to make on this one, but I'll stay quiet. That's a good one. But explain us, just before we go through the studios and before you tell us what you want to express in art, how did you then, you're doing those trousers, you're doing business, you're selling your art. When did you decide to actually, this is it, I'm going to paint? What was the trigger moment and what made it happen for you?
This is a good question. What made it happen for me after college, when I did my last dismount from the horizontal bar, that was a championship. When I landed, I had to then finish school, and I had math as one of my last, which was a nightmare. But I passed it. I passed it with a C-. But I got through that damn thing, man. And I graduated from college, and I was really, really stuck. And I was like, what am I going to do for my life? And I thought about and it was Michael Jackson that I saw in 1983 at the Motown performance he did. And if you remember that, it was just magnificent. It just knocked, I just knew something was happening. He transformed music and performance in that thing. And I recognized it, and I said, that guy is magic. And I want to do something like that. But Chaz, what in the hell can you do? And I thought about, I asked myself, how can he do that? I said, well, he did that when he was a child. So Chaz, what did you do when you were a child? Well, I drew. Well, let's go with that, man. Just see if you can go to freaking fashion school. And I went to FIT after I graduated in New York.
Wow.
And I landed there with my built of gymnastics for all those years. And so I really stuck out like a sore thumb. And in this way, I met Andy Warhol and Basquiat and all those guys. And they photographed me, and Julian Schnabel, he gave me some great advice about, but the most important, if you could Google Antonio Lopez.
Yes.
I opened up a GQ magazine, and I saw his fashion designs, and they just really knock my socks off. And he does that for a living. I'm gonna try that. And so this was 86.
Wow.
I actually, the universe helped me out with this. And I actually met him and asked him, can he help me to learn how to do what you do? He said, well, you already got it. Just like loosen up. When I come back from California, I'll introduce you to Karl Lagerfeld. I said, that's very nice. But unfortunately, he died here of AIDS in California. And I remember reading that in the newspaper. And then that lit a certain fire under me. And I actually did got a one-way ticket to France, Paris.
Yeah.
One way. And with all of that energy and discipline from gymnastics is what I used to apply getting some kind of job in drawing. And it was Joyce Paris magazine, which is a whole other story, that gave me the opportunity to do the cover of their magazine. And I did the
Wow.
cover of their magazine, and they actually paid me French money, and I got home. This was after a month of just discipline of walking the streets of Paris, leaving my drawings under the doors, singing that at the corridor of the Picasso Museum, listening to my echo off the wall, just in a whole kind of world of
Yeah.
walking the streets of Paris, leaving my drawings everywhere.
You're giving me shivers. What a
And that is
journey.
how it really, I can't explain it to you. You know, people say, well, how do you live the life of an artist? But if they did a recording of the tenacity and the insight, the foresight, and the discipline, and the knowing, and the especially the relationship with the universe and how it should work, as to what it took to be able to be talking to you, sipping this good ass champagne, like, and having a
To good ass bubbles. But that's amazing. So you obviously, Chaz, very connected to the universe. Through nature, you believe in energy, in magnetism. I could see that. Do you actually believe in fate and destiny, that the route where you are now was meant to happen?
No, absolutely. I mean, we as human beings are gifted this thing. It's
Yeah.
those of you who notice it and you tune in. It's not just me. We all have it because we're a part of the universe.
That's
It's
right.
that I totally chose to try to hone that thing. And I try to pay close attention of the fact that all of our emotions, all of the things that we do is just simply a part of the universe working through this human experience. And it returns back to that glory. But right now it's inside of this beautiful brown body doing its thing. And I say beautiful brown body because I write my own narrative. I don't let anybody write my own. Yeah.
You're an amazing writer as well. And I got to tell you, we're going to publish your bio. And everybody, if you haven't seen it, dear friends, you will be able to see it. It's really amazing. But tell us about where you basically, before we tour, you get your inspiration, you get your ideas, you get your thinking process. How does that work into that great mind of yours?
Well, thank you. You know, Jean-Charles, I can see the lack of attention that we as human beings pay to ourselves and how to live in a society. Of course, being that I'm African American and very, very proud of that fact.
For sure.
But if you just Google the timeline of the African American, you could see the the events that have taken place from slavery on to civil rights, Jim Crow, all of that. And me, with that being my own personal history, I just felt that we just really never had the correct narrative. And so I want to paint that thing and reintroduce the world to my culture, and also listen to other cultures and just move it into all together as a wonderful package of humanity. No, don't point at me and find me different. No, I have a culture beautiful just like yours. It's just that some people needed to make a whole lot of money and they have some devilment ideas. And but I am fully aware of who I am here on this earth, but more importantly, I am fully aware of who I am in the universe.
Mm-hmm. Well, you are energy.
Yes, we all are energy, but I just pay attention.
That's right.
Mhm.
You're listening to it, you're feeling it, you're sensing it.
Yeah.
And you obviously feel, Chaz, you were sent to this earth with a mission.
Um, we're just passing through, man.
Yeah.
And I want to leave something. I want to leave something like Michael Jackson and Beethoven and Paul Robeson and Miles and Monk and Rachmaninoff, Picasso. I want to leave Dali. I want to leave something because the world deserves what I have to give. They deserve it. They deserve it, and it's gonna knock the socks off of some folks.
Absolutely.
I'm sure about it. I'm sure about it because, fortunately, I'm not saying that with any ego. It's knowing.
Totally. And I'm going to ask you now a question I was asked by journalists not too long ago.
Yes.
As people drive in front of your house, they see a plaque. What would you like to have said on that plaque?
Oh, that's a good one.
I thought it was a good one. So I'm curious to maybe hear about yours.
Can I swear on your line?
So you can do anything you want. It's your plaque.
I probably want to write, "Wake the fuck up, people, and have a great time."
I love it. Mine was very similar to you. I said, he was here and he's still dreaming. Join him.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful.
Well, yours is fabulous because that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing as well, Chaz, as I'm listening to your history, so many of those unbelievable artists you've met when you were, as you said, in New York, in France, and obviously now in Los Angeles. Is there any artist that you want to share a very unique story that?
Oh, I have so many. But when I was just hearing you say that just now, I was thinking to myself, that when you're not positioned to meet these people, they are just people passing. I would certainly like to meet Andy Warhol again right now. I would certainly, not Basquiat, but I will probably have an opportunity to talk with Julian Schnabel again. In fact, his son was just here to as a studio visit, and how amazing that rounds about. But ask me that again, Jean-Charles.
Absolutely.
Ask me that again.
We're going to park that question. So now, as we're going to go on the tour, if you wish, sorry, you had an idea.
Do I have an idea?
I saw your finger pointing up, like the finger of Leonardo da Vinci.
I was just thinking, I liked your question so much. Should I pour some of that too?
Absolutely. We want to go red now.
Let's go. Which one are you going with?
Well, I was thinking we start with the cab, maybe.
Yes.
And then we'll finish with the Zinfandel, because then we'll finish with a big American statement that you're going to make.
Yeah. Okay. Cheerio.
Cheers. Santé to your health, to your talent, to your vision, to your mission.
I have this blue cheese right here. I'm going to do my palate.
You want to leak it. How is it pairing together with the blue cheese? That's a great idea.
I'll take it.
And I'm going to make sure we have a toast as well to Lauren Hoffman because.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's delicious, man.
Yeah, thanks to Lauren, we got to meet, who is a great friend, a phenomenal ambassador of the wine world. He's such a great man with his lovely wife.
Yes.
So what a great introduction.
Yes.
I know it's gonna be friendship forever now. We gotta.
Yes, yes, yes. I love your energy. You're lit, man. You're absolutely lit. That's what I call it. But Jean-Charles, I wanna answer your question. Could you ask me, because I forgot it. Ask me again.
Well, which one? So first, what do you think about that wine?
But this,
And
this
would
is
you
this is amazing. I mean, I'm just thinking as I sip this one here.
the San Helena Cabernet? Yeah.
Yeah. As I sip that, as a person that loves to cook as well, I was pairing it with what I would actually cook. You know that this would be absolutely fantastic with some lamb chops and mint jam.
Woo! I'm coming for dinner.
And perhaps some garlic truffle mashed potato, which I shouldn't eat. But
And
cholesterol.
hey, I love your menu. The last time I had this dish in LA, which was amazing, was with our very good friend, the actor Dan Aykroyd.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And he grilled the lamb chop himself, did the mint sauce. It
Oh,
was
wow.
insanely incredible. I think I still have the taste in my mouth. So good it
That's
was.
what happens.
And we were having Napa Cab, of course.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, so I was on point. Oh,
You
my
are
God.
so on point.
That is amazing. That's that traveling, man. That's why I had to become a painter. I had to afford my habits.
Well, and your girlfriend's habits.
And my
as you
girlfriend,
said.
Charlotte, man, when I come to Napa, I'm gonna have you dying because look, because my first girlfriend as an adult man was a runway model, right? And she's introduced me to my first bottle of wine was Chateau Margaux, and this was in 1986. So
Wow.
Chateau Margaux, 1986. She introduced me to chocolate, cookies from Dalawayo, and more importantly, La Perla underwear. So I had to make
the combination.
I had to make some money, brother.
Hey, I got to tell you, the pearl underwear, you cannot eat them; you can chew on them. And I'm sure you did.
Believe it.
So you love to cook as well. You cook when you paint. Do you go crazy for 12 hours straight if you're inspired? Or you have like Magritte, an 8 to noon schedule, lunch, 2 to 6 schedule, and then you go out?
No. Actually, the word schedule does not apply to me at all. But I love it when I hit it. Like a few days ago, I put on John Coltrane.
Yep.
It was a live concert. And he played for an hour and a half. And I totally painted where I wasn't even thinking. It was just moving. I had my paints here. It was a fantastic, orgasmic occasion. And then I put on after him, I put on some. If you can Google one day, he was a conductor. His name is Sergiu Celibidache.
Okay,
Celibidache. He's a Romanian conductor. And there is this video of him in the 70s. He's actually in a concert, Bolero. It's black and white.
Yeah.
I put that thing on, man. Not only am I listening to it, but from time to time, I just glance over at my screen and just see him. Oh, this is life, Jean-Charles. This is life. And so I invite all his energy into my energy, and we're painting, man. He's conducting, and
I love how you say it. Yeah. We are painting because it's an influence on you.
Yes.
1 + 1 = 10, and you both creating together. I see it.
1 + 1 = 1,000.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm conducting on canvas, and he's like, he's in control of every instrument.
And talking about another great artist you love, and maybe you've met him, but we share the same passion for Salvatore Dali.
I wish I had met that character.
Me too.
Oh my God, he set me on fire, this guy. I would be in museums for hours looking at his painting, just mesmerized. And it's one thing, the takeaway from all of those times I've ever visited the Met and the MoMA and wherever I was in Paris as well, my takeaway is that, Chaz, if you can get a smidgen of his discipline,
that's right,
you're gonna be okay. Pay attention to the small detail. Every painting, just do one area, like Dali, with one hair of a freaking brush, go boop, and then paint around it, you know. This one, oh, what a character. And I loved his whole setup, because what he did the work first.
Yeah.
And then he was this character, which he spent all his money and time traveling around, flamboyantly crazy.
Yeah.
And he did the work first, so you couldn't mess with him. You couldn't touch that because he did the work.
That's it. And I think that's the key in life, isn't
character it? Character at his later age.
Don't you think we could be whoever we want to be, as long as the discipline, the quality of the work is there?
And also, Jean-Charles, you have to be brilliant at moving people out of your way.
Yeah.
Because people can smash your thing, man. So all of those things you mentioned is in fact true. But if you're not clever at relationships and moving those unnecessary people out of your way, you can say bye-bye to your stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I could see it with your personality, and I'm having shivers just to tell you what I'm going to tell you, which is a statement and a question. And I could feel it, and everybody with us tonight is feeling it too, that you have that incredible connection skill. You magnetize people and you build relationship. And to that point, you have this talent, this unbelievable persona, aura that is around you that makes all of us want to gravitate, be with you, have a glass of wine with you naturally, and many more. So in that sense, because your resume is enormous with people like Oprah, like Barack Obama, as an example. So tell us about those relationships you've nurtured and built. I mean, they all collect your fantastic art. And we're going to see, hopefully in a moment, as you're going to show us why. But tell us, how did you build those connections? And, give us an example of that incredible talent of yours to do so.
Okay, well, it wasn't really of me focused on meeting this person and then getting my work there. It was the fact that, man, when you work hard, constantly, quietly, and powerfully, human beings cannot avoid that because it's the truth of who we are. Yeah. And I try to paint the truth of who we are.
Yes.
If you walk past it, you're gonna stop. If you're not gonna stop, you're not human. And that's not giving credit to me. That's all I've got. I didn't go to art school. I mean, I'm old enough now to say that I have harnessed what it is to be a human being. And if I live to be 100 years old, I will be even better at it. But the fact of the matter is that when you say, how did I meet these people? I didn't meet these people. These people saw my work.
Yeah.
I like the way I answered that.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
Yeah, because it's nothing of like, hey, listen, if I tried to say, Oprah, Angelina Jolie, look at my stuff. No. There's a million people doing that. But if it's not in my mind, if I ask simply to the universe, can they see this? Yeah, boom. Because I trust that, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
I mean, when the universe tells me to do something, I listen. Don't debate it. I know you want what you want, but if I got a message from the universe, forget it, drop it. It's what it is.
That's right. I'm 100% aligned with your school of thoughts.
Yes.
So, do you want to show, as we have this amazing cab?
Yes. I need to pour some more.
I mean, you have an amazing painting, obviously, behind you, and many behind you. So, you want to walk us through a little bit of a few pieces? Would be amazing. A few masterpieces. Masterpieces. Master Chaz. Chaz is about to be back, dear friends, but we could see his amazing talent. What a powerful, powerful tool. I mean, it's really amazing to have this talent to express. You know, Chaz, what we all see is the reality portrayed, I really think, with so much power. The mystery is happening in front of us, and that's what I'm really, really excited about. And
so I'm going to take my computer here and I'm going to park you in front of this one lady here. Let's see. Let's get a good vision of her here. Can you see that?
Oh, absolutely we can. We want to have a glass of wine with her.
Yes. So this painting is taking place in the 1940s. During the war, she got a note saying that her husband actually survived. So now she has to get rid of her lover. She has to now contemplate that.
What do you think she's going to do?
Well,
she's going to try to manage both, have just one, keep the lover.
Oh, man, no.
Are you suggesting a ménage à trois?
No, she has to work it out. A ménage à trois. No, she just got to call a couple of friends.
I love it.
So this painting I created, that's Michelle Obama as a little girl being ushered out of the door by her mother in the 70s, the smartest girl in the class. Yeah. And as you see, it's painted on top an American flag.
Oh, wow. So cool. And I got to say, the eyes, the facial expression, you mastering here, and that little girl who looks with the white in her eyes more clever than anyone in the room. She speaks so much volume. Wow.
Woo! Now this one I just finished. Look at her.
Wow.
Now before I show you that one, but just keep that in mind. But it's this lady here who's kissing our superhero. Now she's the only one that witnessed that he's a superhero. And she's also the lineage of our story of Buffalo Warrior because she's pregnant. He doesn't know that yet.
Wow.
And so now this is her looking at him as he disappears into his superhero missions. That's our secret.
I love the light you portray in her eyes as she's sad and at the same time dreaming of the past moments and the one to come, maybe, or hoping there's more to come.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be more to come.
Yeah.
And so this one, look at his expression.
Wow. Oh la 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 la.
Right?
Oof.
Kind of powerful, huh?
So who is he?
Who is he? Actually, it's my great-grandfather.
I was going to say, is it your dad?
No, not my dad. I didn't paint my dad. I made my dad a long, long time ago, but his story is more profound. In fact, they just found his great-grandfather's bank book from the Freedmen's Bank that Abraham Lincoln started.
Wow.
Yeah, I just found this bank book.
How did you research history?
Oh, I didn't. Someone did it for me.
Oh,
Look at this big one.
yeah, this is, I would say, as you kindly posed in front of it during our interview, this is one of my favorite.
Mhm.
I'm please tell us about this one.
Well, this one I had to paint, and I'll keep it in my son's private collection. I had to paint one painting that he could have and just keep it. So that's what that is. And this one here, I was invited to paint the king of the Asante, Otumfu Ositutu. So
Okay.
the interesting thing about that is I painted that there, but when I took it to him and met him in person, I had to bring it back and finish it because it didn't possess the power that he has. So because of COVID, it's still here.
Ha.
But I'll have another trip there. And then switching that to my geishas, when I'm in, I don't have any of, this is the last painting that I have of the whole thing. But on this one, I actually use shibari Japanese rope, that what do they call it? Bondage that they use in the bondage?
Yes. How come do I know that?
I'm such a freak. Look, so this one, I coiled it and did an African geisha.
Oh, so cool. With the two faces, it's brilliant.
You like
The
it?
two faces of femininity, right?
That. And then what else do we have? So this one here is, hey, you see that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's also from the 1940s. The soldier is returning home.
Yeah. Is he surprised?
Yeah, well, he's, they're opening the door of the soldier coming in. And because I want to show you this in this other room, this is the drawing that I did when I was in Paris. And it was for this magazine.
Wow.
And that is how I got back home.
This was, yeah, he paid for the ticket and more.
He paid for the ticket home, yes. And of course, my friend and lovely Misty Copeland.
Of course. Wow. Look at this. Oh, by the way, I'm seeing something where there's a jacket where it's written Buffalo.
Buffalo Warrior, yeah.
Yeah, do you want to tell us about that a little bit? Because that's brilliant.
Well, that's my superhero. And so my son asked me one day, he said, well, Dad, you should create a superhero. And I said, okay. And fact of the matter is that you hear me talk about the universe a lot. And I woke up the next day and I pretty much was gifted the whole story and image of what will be our next superhero. So I actually wrote the damn thing out and illustrated all of the graphic novel for my son. But now, because I just did it for my son, there will be a silver screen movie.
Wow, this is a huge deal.
Yeah, we're in the midst of putting together a great deal. But more so, the paintings, I can't seem to hold on to them. Right now, a museum in Latvia has acquired my biggest Buffalo Warrior painting. And Latvia. It's called Museum. And it's being widely collected, these paintings. So the next body of work that I put together, I'm going to pretty much hide it until my next exhibition will be at Night Gallery here in Los Angeles.
Great. Yeah, keep them because if not, we never get to see them. Everybody buys them before you finish them.
This is true. I did that with my, when I painted the Cotton series. They sold before I even could have a show. So I actually had to make a book, a limited edition book. So, and I think that's really cool. One of the greatest things about, when I talk about my the Cotton series, I love the fact that there would be old, young, gay, straight, white, black, Asian, and they'd say, "I looks like my grandmother," or "That looks like my grandfather."
That's right.
And at that point, I realized that I was actually painting humanity and not a race.
That's right. So
We
well
need to
said.
celebrate our likenesses instead of our differences. It's such a waste of time.
I'm with you 1,000,000%. And you just gave me a brilliant idea. I'm taking notes with a pen. We need to celebrate humanity absolutely more than religion, race, and differences. It's all us.
But it's quite complicated because we're up against an amazing machine, man.
Yeah.
And people haven't they can't lose sight of the fact that we are governed by two spirits, which is good and evil.
That's it.
And they can't lose sight of that, because when you can think of a group of people that could go, let's say, go to can capture a whole bunch of Jewish people and burn them up and take their stuff, or take a trip to Africa and gather up all of these beautiful African people and enslave them, and on and on and on.
Yeah.
Take the Native American land of children and women and men fighting just for their home and call it the new America.
Yeah.
You have to reevaluate. I don't want anybody to kidnap me and shut me up, but man, can you imagine that we're living on the land that's completely stolen here in the United States, and they just demolished those people and then rendered them non-existent.
Yeah.
God can't like that, man. God can't even like that. And then you just make all of what a European point of view. It's sort of like stealing an African wood and just carving your story on an African mask.
Yeah.
It's sort of like we need to redo that, man. And I think that we're doing it, but it's slow. But inclusiveness, we are the world.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody has.
We are the world.
We are the world, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you don't pull your coattail, you can be guilty. And I was that person when I was in Ghana, painting the king. Pampu, I stepped out of his palace. Now I was driven a few blocks away, and I said, "Why did he have that trash in front of, so close to the palace, with these tires and these tree branches and all of this?" And he's laid out there on what looks like a couch. And I stopped myself. And I said, "Chaz, you are projecting that bullshit commercials of Sears and Roebuck and all of that you grew up with. You're projecting that on that creative man, laying on something he's never seen television, but yet he's smart enough and brilliant enough to make something that he could relax on." You see how I pulled my coattails, Jean-Charles?
Yeah, I'm with you, Chaz. Absolutely.
And I said, "Don't do that, man. The world needs to do that."
No.
Everybody contributed to this thing we call life. Yeah. Cheers to that.
Life. On that note, I think we should pour the Native American grapevine.
Okay, so you got the other one going. Okay, hang on.
Well, I have the Zin because what you just said about Native Americans, what you just said about the authentic sense of place, by what could have existed before we arrive.
Yeah.
This is kind of the American classic, Zinfandel as a grape is the one that only America really does. And it does it damn very well.
You know what, Jean-Charles, I was at a restaurant one time and I was having a really hard time with my wine. I tasted too many and I was feeling a little guilty. Nothing was matching my dinner. And he said, why don't you try our Zinfandel? And I just have to tell you, I said, okay. And he brought a Zinfandel and it was beautiful. It matched. And I had not been drinking Zinfandel wine. I had not been drinking Zinfandel wine.
So tell us what you think about this one. I would love for you to take the skin. A friend of mine, artist in Burgundy, has done paintings with the skin of the grapes.
I want to do that.
It would be fun for you to do it.
I want to do that. Yeah. I'm going to come there and do you have some skins there?
Oh, absolutely. Well, harvest is coming up soon. So, the best way, maybe you come with your son or
he would love that.
Your lovely girlfriends.
You're going to get me in trouble.
Of course. Hey, life is trouble.
Life is trouble. Oh, wow. This is excellent, man. You know what I loved about the first sip? The first sip of the wine is like nostalgia. And it's a wonderful, wonderful nostalgia. I can taste the grape so presently in this one. And not only that, it reminds me of a color that I paint with called Pazuli red.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I can have this color when I taste this one. This is nice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I think it could go well with one of your phenomenal dish. Maybe not lamb on this one.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah. What would you pair it with?
Because you're brilliant at it. So let me, before you say something. I'm gonna listen to you.
No. I'm gonna listen to you.
Okay. You know what I would do with this? I would get a filet mignon and some creme fraiche and some blue cheese, and I would make the sauce, and I would pour it on top of the filet mignon. And I shouldn't have this, but I would make some kind of like a pasta that go around it. But I would have to exercise my ass off after that.
We will.
Yeah.
Hey, that's going to make us 2 great dinners.
But that would go well with this one. The meat and the blue cheese would really complement this for me. For me.
Totally agree with you.
Let's go with fish, can't it? Let's go with fish?
Well, absolutely. Why not? Specifically if it's grilled, I would imagine, right?
Like if this is if you grilled a branzino.
Yeah, that's it.
Like a whole branzino. And put some champignon. Put some mushrooms around it.
Toujours.
With garlic.
C'est toujours très bon.
Super.
C'est super. So, tell us a little bit, Chaz, about your guest world art project, which is a big vision of yours.
Yes, that's a big vision of mine because I was invited to the Gambia, West Africa, by the president at the time, and I was being driven to his it's called the State House. It's equivalent of the White House, and I heard these children playing in the bush, and I had them stop the car, and I said, "Can you come with me?" And we were searching, and there's this family, and she had a lot of kids, man. There's one on her boob right here. There's the one hanging on her leg, and there's a gang of kids, and they're playing, and the father's over there. He's chopping wood. And the oldest girl is preparing the whatever, like mushing that in the thing. And it's just a beautiful sight. And I'm standing there and I'm looking at them, they're looking at me, and I say to my translator, the first thing come to my mind, I want to draw with these kids. So we level out some dirt and we get some sticks and we start drawing. I said, tell them to draw their best drawing. And as these kids are drawing, I see Picasso-esque sketches in the dirt coming around.
Aha, wow.
They don't know anything about this kind of thing. And so at that moment, I thought that, see, my dream was always to connect the African-American culture with Africa. It has been my dream for many, many, many years.
And it makes so much sense.
It makes so much sense because we're the only ones without a real country here.
Yeah.
I mean, you're here in America, but you're French.
That's right.
French, Polish, Spanish, even African, Hispanic, everybody except the African American that was cut. Mm-hmm. And so with this, my power and even the conversation that I had with the King Otamfu and the president at the time of the Gambia, it's like, I'm gonna work this rest of the life to bring about this one mergence between the two peoples, and then the others. But what I came up with, being from the inner city of Philadelphia, I want to get those kids that are cut from any kind of artistic expression other than music, if they want to do that, have them draw their own portraits looking in the mirror, because this is powerful. When you look in the mirror and you do your portrait, it is a powerful thing.
That's right.
And so I'm going to have them do that, and I'm going to trade it with those children in the Gambia, and then take their drawings. I'm going to take them art supplies. I'm going to get them to look in the mirror. They're going to be wowed by that. But with their African unknowing expression, do their portrait. And I'm going to trade them with those kids in the inner cities.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to start like this, somewhat of a portrait pile.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. And it's called the World Art Project.
This is amazing. So you started on that one already, or you were?
And I don't even do crack. I don't even smoke weed. I don't do nothing. This is a natural idea that I've come up with that is going to be so powerful.
Yeah.
So powerful.
Well, luckily you do wine. When you do wine, you don't have to do any of the other stuff you were talking about.
Wine is beautiful, and it sets me up. If I drink, I got to tell you something. This Zinfandel is amazing. This is amazing. But Jean-Charles, if I come here on this Zinfandel,
yeah,
I am good. I am so good.
Can I tell you, Chaz, something? If you come here on that Cabernet,
I'm done.
You're gonna be great.
And you see this, what I'm working on right here with the stool?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna paint my ass off after I hang up from you.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna come to here on this, and I have to invite a friend. Well, I have an appointment here at 3:30, so I'm gonna share the rest.
That's fine.
But I'm gonna come to about here, and I'm gonna go into my zone, man.
Hey, that's a great place to be, and wine.
What's that pin?
I love that.
What's that pin there you have?
Oh, I design at odd times of my day jewelry. Oh. So you know what? I'm going to send you a few pieces, so maybe you can enjoy them. I think bottles of wine should be adorned with jewelry. So we make a wine with the jewelry. I'm going to show you in a moment.
I love it.
And then I think men in particular, thank you, Jen, should have jewelry on their. So you see, this is the wine with pieces of jewelry.
Oh my God, that is beautiful, man.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to make sure you try this.
Well,
Yeah,
look
this
at-
is fun. And that jewelry ends up on our jackets, on our t-shirts, on our shirt, on our kimono for you soon.
Yes.
And I'll make sure I send you a few pieces. So it's something that I love to do as you love to paint. I love to sketch and create and do jewelry design. So
Well, that's really, really beautiful. But you have to tell me about your number 10.
oh, this is I know Lauren Hoffman gave you that one.
No. I never had it.
Oh, this is I'll send you number 10. You know what?
Yeah.
Number 10, and then you'll come back on the show and you'll tell us about it. This is kind of our most iconic wine of all time we've made. It's 100% Cabernet. It's voluptuous. It's like you, debonair. And it's like you as well, mysterious.
Wonderful. That is so wonderful. You know, I have just a message come on my machine that says I have a low battery, but I would hate to just go cut.
So let's do the final. I have a big question for you. What is the dream yet you haven't achieved?
Woo! Whoa, that's a good, juicy question.
Well, we've parked a few questions that we will go back in the future because we'll do another live together. I got to tell you.
Yeah. But I have to say that, you know, I would love to be recognized as an international artist all over the world. All over the world, it's sort of like okay, before I say this, I don't want to prove myself to be right, but I think I have a couple of good ideas about life. Yeah. Because money has infected the minds of what God created.
That's right. Way too much.
And it doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean that you get to say and do anything you want. I want to introduce a different kind of wealth through my art.
Yeah.
That is what I want to do. I want to be able to talk to the creatures that God created. Because I think I have an idea. And it's not attached to, and you know, Jean-Charles, it is a very comfortable place to be when you don't want anything. It is so comfortable. When you don't need anything, you understand that you can sit in a field of grass and concentrate on one blade with some of this Zinfandel.
Hey, Chaz, that was so well said. And I took notes. I luckily have a blank sheet of paper because you've inspired me. And I know all of us, everybody who is on this Facebook Live and Instagrams and listening to this amazing conversation with you, I can tell you everybody is so inspired, energized, and I believe willing to do something that goes beyond what they ever thought they could do.
Well, I hope so, because we're all magic people, because the universe gave us that. But when you cloud yourself with bullshit, you are missing it, pal.
I love it. Chaz, I want to thank you. I cannot wait for us to get together.
Yeah, man, we're going to have a blast, but you know that, right?
Hey, I may call you in LA before you come up, but
all right.
You know, our guest house is waiting for you. And whoever you want to bring with you, we cannot wait to have you in the heart of the vineyards.
Yes.
To inspire you in the earth and the terroir of Napa Valley.
Wonderful. You are amazing, man. I got to call Lauren and said, you just did something amazing.
Oh, vice versa. I'm going to call him right away.
You are the bomb, dude.
You are the one. Hey, Chaz, thank you. And
thank you.
Can you make sure you come very soon?
Very soon. Very soon.
A lot more wine to try.
Yeah, you tell me when. Although I have to make a trip to my New York City, either after that or not before, but after this, after sometime in July, make a plan.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I will shoot you a text and we'll get together.
There you go, pal. Cheerio.
Cheerio. Congratulations.
All
You're
right.
the best. Thank
Ciao.
you.